In 1943, deep inside occupied Europe, German engineers gathered around a captured American fighter aircraft. They had examined Spitfires. They had studied Mustangs. But this machine was different. Huge, heavy, brutal. When they opened the engine cowling, one engineer reportedly whispered, "This is not a fighter, this is a flying engine." The aircraft was the American P-47 Thunderbolt, the heaviest single-engine fighter of World War I. And once the Germans truly understood what it could do, they realized they had a serious problem. When the Thunderbolt first appeared over Europe, many German pilots laughed. It looked too big, too heavy, too clumsy. Compared to the sleek Messerschmitt Bf 109 or the elegant Focke-Wulf 190, the P-47 looked like a flying barrel. German pilots gave it a nickname, Der Juggernaut. They assumed it would be slow and easy to shoot down. They were wrong, very wrong. The secret of the Thunderbolt was its engine. Inside the nose sat the monstrous Pratt & Whitney R2800 double Wasp 118, a cylinder radial engine producing over 2,000 horsepower. To German engineers, this engine was shocking. It was enormous. It was rugged. And it was built to survive damage. The aircraft was designed around the engine, not the other way around, which made the P-47 incredibly tough. German pilots quickly noticed something strange in combat. They could hit the Thunderbolt. They could damage it. They could even see pieces flying off. But the aircraft just kept flying. Pilots reported P-47s returning to base with holes in the wing cylinders destroyed, control surfaces shredded, and yet still airborne. This was not normal. Eventually, Germany captured an intact P-47. Now engineers could finally study the aircraft properly. They disassembled it piece by piece. What they discovered surprised them. The Thunderbolt was not elegant engineering. It was brutal engineering. Everything was oversized. Everything was reinforced. Everything was built for punishment. Then came the biggest shock of all, the turbocharger. Instead of placing it near the engine, American engineers placed a massive turbocharger in the rear fuselage. Long ducts carried exhaust gases through the aircraft to power it. It was complicated, heavy, but incredibly effective. At high altitude, the Thunderbolt could fly faster than most German fighters. This stunned the engineers. The Americans had built a high-altitude monster. At 30,000 feet, German fighters began losing power. But the Thunderbolt, this is where it became dangerous. The turbocharger kept the engine breathing perfectly in thin air. German engineers realized the terrifying truth. The higher the fight, the stronger the Thunderbolt became. But the Thunderbolt had another terrifying ability: speed in a dive. Its heavy weight allowed it to accelerate like a falling rock. German pilots discovered they could not escape once a P-47 dove after them. The aircraft could exceed 700 km/h in a dive. Many German pilots said, "If a Thunderbolt dives on you, you pray." Then the Thunderbolt changed roles. It became a ground attack aircraft. It carried bombs, rockets, 8.50 cal machine guns. German troops feared its arrival. They called it the flying tank. Convoys, trains, tanks, nothing was safe. After studying the aircraft, German engineers reached a conclusion. The Thunderbolt was not elegant. It was not light. It was not pretty. But it was powerful, durable, and terrifyingly effective. One report summarized it simply: "This aircraft can absorb punishment beyond expectation." The P-47 Thunderbolt would become one of the most successful American fighters of the war. It escorted bombers, destroyed enemy aircraft, and devastated ground forces across Europe. What began as a flying barrel became one of Germany's most feared enemies. The flying engine had proven its power.